No. No sound.
What? Welcome back to Big Geeky Couch. We know it's been a while, and we're sorry for that. But we missed you. We didn't miss you.
Don't apologize.
Why?
Keep going.
Alright, fine. I won't apologize. I'm not sorry. We don't apologize.
There you go.
So we're actually doing a new format with Big Geeky Couch. Instead of doing the whole every other week videos, instead we're doing one video longer with instead 3 different comics. What does this mean for you guys? Well, we actually have a website. And if you go down here, because I'm going to put a little graphic down here, biggeekycouch.com, you get to vote for your favorite. And in the next video, which is going to be once a month, we are going to talk about the winner a little bit and be like, why you're wrong that it wins. I'm just kidding. So we're going to choose 3. We're going to talk about 3 comics today. You guys have a month to read them and vote for your favorite. And then we move on to the next ones here on this Big Geeky Couch.
It's basically an elaborate setup to contradict Chad and make him feel worse about himself. Let's get started.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm just, yeah, sure.
That's the premise.
I guess you're honest.
I think first one up is Umbrella Academy.
By
Yes.
Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba. I got them mixed up because there's the 2 Brazilian siblings, Gabriel Ba and Fabio Moon, and they draw identically, but sometimes they don't work on projects together, so I forget which one draws which project.
They do both have that kind of pop-arty feel to them.
They just draw the exact same.
Right, no, they do. So Umbrella Academy is about, well, Kit, what is Umbrella Academy about?
It's about a bunch of super children that got born, and only a couple of them managed to make it to adulthood, which is what this is about. The super children that make it to adulthood and then have to fight their sister, who's a death violin.
Which is probably the coolest freaking thing about
pretty
this
cool.
book. Yeah, so Umbrella Academy is by the guy who sings Black Parade.
Yeah, Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, thanks. I was getting to that.
I did it quicker.
Well, thanks.
He actually originally was a comic book artist. He worked in a comic book store, and then he got inspired to start a band, so he did that instead. He became a millionaire, and then was like, what if I did comics too? So he did.
Yeah, and then it's every emo's dream, but this is entirely different from what you're actually familiar with him. Umbrella Academy, guys, I really like Umbrella Academy.
I've always liked it.
It's probably one of my favorite things.
It's like The Incredibles, only the plot doesn't make as much sense.
I think it's a lot like The Watchmen. That's what
He told me about this and it made sense. I would have never thought of it.
Tell the audience.
So this book it reminds me a lot of The Watchmen because it's about heroes who were that were completely retired. And then they come back to stop the apocalypse, which is the exact premise of The Watchmen.
And there's someone who's like killing other heroes.
Yeah, there's somebody who's killing other heroes in here. The villain is somebody who you would never really expect.
It's not, yeah.
You get to see the future later on, and I think they do that in The Watchmen as well. I think Ozymandias does that. What? In The Watchmen, where they switch to the future later on.
Well, you see like a few years after the ending, but...
Yeah. So this book is literally just The Watchmen, but on steroids, and
it's
kind
quicker.
of better.
I wouldn't say it's better than Watchmen. I do enjoy Umbrella Academy. I think it's fun. I like the second volume, Dallas, more.
Okay.
But I really like the Brazilian brothers' artwork. Like, their inking's fucking cool. The character designs are great. It's got simple poppy coloring.
It's terrible. They kill a chimp.
They do kill that's so sad.
Kill a chimp.
Inspector Chimp. Isn't this his name or something? It's been a while.
I don't know. His name is Chimp. He's dead.
Yeah. They killed the monkey.
There was one character that I was slowly becoming interested in as the book progressed. It was this chimpanzee.
Who was a detective.
Yeah. And then boom, they just blew him up.
Blow his head out. They blow his brains out.
Oh, he's dead. And everyone else...
I liked Space Boy best. He was my favorite.
Really? I like Kraken, just because he was an asshole the entire time.
You always like the assholes.
I do. I love the asshole characters. But the great thing about him is that he sucked. Like, regardless of whatever he did, he just made everything worse.
Because he was just upset. He's a selfish prick.
Yeah, and his name never made any sense to what his superhero identity.
Yeah, and his powers, like, he doesn't have, like, tentacles or anything.
Oh, and then also too, another homage to The Watchmen with this book is that one child in the book is dead during the premise of the current.
Yeah, because one of them's already died.
Yeah, that weird guy who has like all this dimensional beings in his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's dead. But I love the Umbrella Academy. I think Gerard Way is capable of doing amazing things. Wow, I turned off the handycam.
Good job.
Yeah. By the way, we're bringing back the handycam. Just letting you guys know, in case you missed it.
Turning it off is the wrong way to do that.
I know. It is the wrong way.
Bringing the handycam off.
But Dave, what did you think about Umbrella Academy?
A lot of cool things happened, and I didn't care.
What? Really?
Like, none of the characters really got me engaged. It was like, here's a cool gimmick, here's a cool gimmick, this is a pretty cool gimmick, as soon as I was like kind of starting to get into a character, they would just totally switch focus and jingle some more keys over here.
Was it this scene here where they're tied to it, where the villain ties the girl to the chair? Like, was that the gimmick? Was that the only gimmick? Because that's the only gimmick I remember in this book.
I think the first gimmick was when the Eiffel Tower came to life and started beating up France.
That's not a gimmick, that's awesome!
Well, it is
and
a gimmick.
Now, Chad, we see the diverging between our worldviews.
Well, it is a gimmick.
I guess
that's what
gimmick,
comics are built on.
The thing is,
it's a cool gimmick.
The thing is, they're all cool gimmicks, and I liked every one of them. But it was like, oh, this is an awesome block of marble, and you just come across all these great, beautiful blocks of marble that are really neat, but they don't build up and they don't add up to anything. They don't build a building. They're just a pile of blocks.
They build a bigger, giant pile of marble.
Well, I think the point he's making is, they fight that big thing at the beginning, but that doesn't actually... And is this the one where they also fight Abraham Lincoln? Does that happen?
No, that's not in this
second one.
No,
Okay.
I think that's the second one.
They fight a statue of Abraham Lincoln.
But I really love the character designs in this series are awesome.
It's very well drawn, yeah.
Yeah, each character has their own set of unique abilities, which is, again, what it reminds me of The Watchmen, where everybody has their own particular quirk about them.
Well, I mean, that's just every superhero thing, though. I mean...
But there's no... I guess what I should say is in this book, no two characters are different.
No two characters are different.
Or no two characters are the same. Sorry, yeah. No two characters are different.
They're all the same. It's very bland.
It's kind of like saying, I don't know, I feel like the guy who has the future abilities is
the little kid.
Yeah, and then Space Boy are incredibly different.
He's a depressed monkey who lives on the moon. Yeah,
Space Boy is Mr. Incredible.
He looks like Mr. He does look like.
But they gave him the body of a space gorilla, and that's kind of the caliber of the writing.
No,
I like it. But the thing is, I do like it. It's just I wish it would tie together in a way where there was actually a satisfying story that went somewhere that made sense.
Well, it's a very followable. I wouldn't say it doesn't make sense.
I think it's pretty followable. It's about the coming of the apocalypse, but they don't know when it's coming or how it's coming. But the great thing about it is that they give snidbits of how it's coming in the book.
Well, yeah, but we get that from the Bible.
Is that the word I'm looking for?
Snidbits, yeah, that's a word.
Snippets.
Look it up, Webster's.
Snippets.
Yeah. So, my opinion is, I think there's a lot of cool ingredients. It was entertaining to read through, but I kept on waiting for it to build up into something. I kept on wanting to get invested in a character, and then at the end it was just kind of like, maybe... Like, I feel like the series could be really cool, but from one book, it wasn't quite there yet.
Well, and some of this stuff ends up tying into the second book, which, obviously when you're just reading one, that's only so much.
Yeah.
No, a lot happens, and a lot of it's very strange. I'm trying to just think over, because it has been a bit since I've read it, but...
I don't know, I was always caught up with Umbrella Academy. Every single page, I was like, what the hell is going to happen next? And I got more and more excited about... I love the fact that that their sister becomes this amazing supervillain. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
She gets corrupted into like a super death violin.
Yeah.
I do think some of them have pretty unique abilities that are fun, like Rumor's ability, where if she like whispers something in your ear, it happens. Like that's pretty cool.
Her ability confuses me because she could just defeat everybody just by whispering.
Well, and that's kind of why they handicap her pretty early on.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I think it's, even if you're a curmudgeon like me, I think it's still worth picking up for the art. The art's great.
Yeah.
The layouts are amazing. Great page layouts.
Whichever of the Brazilians.
I just think the story is really cool. I think anybody who likes The Watchmen would definitely enjoy this book because it is very similar to it. I think the characters are really likable. I think the villain is interesting.
If you had to pick this or Watchmen, they're both on a pedestal. One is going to fall into the fire. Which one burns?
I mean, Watchmen would be the better of the two, absolutely, because The Watchmen is the more... It's written a little bit better. I think it has.
Well, it's also
more...
got double the issue space to
Yeah.
stand itself out.
Do they
So-
have like a Watchmen themed watch company?
Yeah, it's drawn by
Yeah.
it's drawn by Dr. Manhattan because he built watches.
Yeah, that's what he did for the entire time. But anyway, so what do you guys think of the Umbrella Academy?
I already told you.
No, I was talking to them.
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking to you. Yeah, we already know.
So yeah, read it and go to the BigGeekyCouch.com, and if you think it's a good book, vote it up. Otherwise,
Don't vote.
Don't vote it, or you can also leave a comment in below saying if you do like it or not. But
Leave a scathing
oh
comment.
yeah, we do want to make fun of your comments. So
yeah,
please
we
provide
do.
some.
So please, we are gonna read your comments in the next video.
All
Dave,
right.
you're up with this
All
one.
right, House of Golden Bones. Let's get into a real book, guys. Oh.
A real book.
Oh,
I read this today.
This book, it
want
started
some more
out.
of the stuff.
It hurts so good. It hurts so good.
A House of Golden Bones. Dave, please
You
enlighten
have to
us.
see it to believe it. Let me
Like-
just
It
get
does
the-
have. It is a
God
funny
damn it.
looking book.
It is
Yeah, get this thing in focus. There we go.
This is
There
our
we
main
go.
character,
There
the
we
human
go.
or Zero.
There
or,
we
he doesn't
go.
really have a name.
His name is the Human Zero. It is actually done by another musician.
Donny Osmond.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like that would have been an amazing book if that was the case. No, it's actually done by Corey Taylor, the same guy who does from Slipknot,
The
and
Wiggles.
the Wiggles. The great
Corey Taylor of The Wiggles.
the Wiggles of Stone Sour. It is about the human who
That's the main character's name. It's either Zero or the human. They
one
don't
of the
give him a name.
two, and he's in this dream.
It's 4 issues. That's the whole thing. Is right there.
It's this one book.
Look at Dave, just like look at
It's-
this. Look at this doofy ass.
You guys are
motherfucker.
using weak words, and I'm capturing the perfect images that shows
It's-
people.
it's about this
This is a
guy-
book of reaction JPEGs.
It's about this guy
This
in
is a catalog
purgatory.
of perfect reaction faces.
Like, it's about this guy in purgatory.
Is that what it is?
I guess, I'm not sure. It's like he's in a dream, like...
I'm not sure. Is a
Chad,
very good way to sum up.
Did
this
you
book.
read the book?
Like-
He's not in purgatory. He's inside his own consciousness, dealing with fragmentations of himself, culminating in the ultimate, what is it, cataclysm, where he chooses
The conflagration.
in the conflagration,
Oh, the
where in the forge of his own psyche, he must make a choice. Oh my god, it's so bad. You have to read it.
It is. It's not a good book.
It's not good, but it's incredibly fun.
It goes
like-
around the clock on good to bad and comes back around to being one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It is so goofy. Like, every
Well,
single
I think
word.
what I noticed was you can very much tell it's a book that wanted to be a music video. I
It did.
think.
It really did.
Like, because a lot of music videos are very vague and weird and just loaded with symbolism and are very open-ended, but this
Yeah.
is a comic, and comics have to be clear and concise, and nothing in this book is clear or
here's
concise.
the thing about this. This apparently, from what Corey Taylor explained on Wikipedia, and in interviews, he said that this book is supposed to be with the albums House of Golden Bones Part 1 and Part 2 for Stone Sour, and those albums are supposed to be listened to with this book. I tried.
Yeah? How'd that go?
What happened?
Blow your mind?
It was I don't fucking know, because I was like literally still really confused.
Was there like a drug you're supposed to take as well? Like,
It did mention LSD in the middle of the video.
I like
in
this
the middle
part
of
with
the
this
album.
dude. Yeah, what was
When it gets into like his father issues, because psychological clue, his father left.
That's the
No,
only
his father
reason.
didn't leave. His father was there too much.
Well, then at the end, his father left though.
Did he?
I thought there was like
Was
a
that the
picture of a
implication?
backpack. I think that was the implication.
Oh,
Was his
okay.
father
So-
smoked and was a bad man. And
Oh,
then,
okay. I like his Justice belt buckle, whatever that means.
I'll tell you right now,
Yeah,
with House
see.
of Golden Bones,
I
trying to
know
listen to the
his
albums
mom
and
left
read
him
this,
alone. The father
With the
didn't.
dad,
Yeah,
and I thought it was going to imply his dad like raped him, but that's not what it was.
And then there's other flashbacks that make even more sense.
Yeah,
like when he tried to save that little girl in the middle of the book.
it's so loaded with symbolism that it's just confusing.
I
Well,
think-
when you're listening to the album.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a
Like-
character. Like he's like, "Oh my god, it's you," and I'm like, "Who?"
Right.
And he's
It's-
like, "Oh, it was obviously that character from earlier. This looks nothing like."
It's
Yeah.
himself as a boobs.
Yeah.
Himself as a woman, and you actually get to see the.
Yeah, I like
symbol
that.
of
There's like the floating heads.
the floating
of
weird
previous-
heads.
But seriously, you gotta get this just to flip through and look at the facial expressions. The art is in this balance where it's not good enough to be taken seriously, but it's just good enough to be really, really funny.
Yeah.
I kind of love it.
There was some brushwork I really liked in the inking.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I thought the idea was pretty cool after
Well, the idea
Dave
of
broke it
someone
down and explained it to
Well,
me.
the idea of someone exploring their own... I think it was done better in The Filth, but that was also written by Grant Morrison, so,
Yeah.
you know. There's also an episode of The Venture Brothers
I think
that's
the
about
Max
that,
did a
and
better
that was
idea.
better, but...
So this is it. I think part of the humor is that it sincerely tries to be so serious and so badass, and it
and
fails
it's just
so
not
hard
any
at
of
it.
those.
that-
Yeah, it's very...
But
I thought it was very
it's
pretentious.
a music video in a comic
It
book.
won... Yeah.
The idea is there, but it's just not. It doesn't hold up.
The execution isn't there. It's not engaging. It's not
No.
like, oh, wow, what will happen next? It's like...
Are you saying that they should not vote this up? Vote this up. This is by far the best experience on the table. You are going to have so much fun with
It's
this.
a goofy fucking book.
It's a really silly.
You'll never want for a reaction picture again.
Yeah.
Vote
If
this
you
up.
want to get
It's
drunk,
worth it.
listen to a CD and then read a comic book all at the same time. Read House of Golden Bones.
I liked the covers. They were like cool and hand
Yeah,
painted.
like
Those were
I was
neat.
really excited when I first saw the book. I was like, "Ah, this cover is sweet."
Then at the end, when a griffin turns into a griffin and fights a demon.
He turns into like a man griffin.
As a griffin.
He griffins even harder. Yeah, like when the actual conflagration happens, I was like, oh, this is the thing. It's just like all these weird characters I don't understand, like beating the shit out of each other in a church. And then he wakes up on a beach and it's the end.
Yeah, it's day two.
It says the end ? I'm like, that's so gay. Like, come on.
Well, apparently part
Ooh.
2 is supposed to be
Oh man.
There's a
like-
part 2?
no.
Oh,
So
Dave
the
just got-
albums.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently
I was about to say, you just
Corey
got Dave
Taylor
so
wants to go
excited.
back. I will say though, I really do like the fact that Corey Taylor did do a comic book. Because I am a fan of Slipknot and I am a fan of Stone Sour.
And I'm a big Wiggles guy.
Yeah, you're a huge one of those guy. So I mean, I was really excited to find out that he did a comic book, and he did try, and I have to give him that.
Corey Taylor, he tried.
tried.
All right, effects guy, please write Corey Taylor, he tried
tried.
on the screen. All right, thank you.
Are
I
we
will.
grading
Thank
these
you,
comics
editor.
on a curve?
So
That's one of our other things, is you can vote it up or you can vote author tried.
Try, author tried. We will leave that in the comment, and we will leave that in the section.
Yeah.
So give us your opinions on this book. Go out and buy it, or don't illegally download it. Go out and buy it.
Yeah,
like really,
don't,
please.
Don't go on, I was trying to think of one of those.
Just don't.
Napster.
No,
download-
don't go
download
on
it from-
Napster.
down-
LimeWire.
get it
Go on
from
LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, if you like this book, let us know. If you don't like this book, let us know.
Here's
if
one
you like this
you-
book, you're Corey Taylor.
Here's one that
or
you're
Dave.
not.
If you
apparently.
like this book, if you like this book, and like this book if you like this book, here's one that you don't have to illegally download because it's on a webcomic. You can just go read
It's
it.
on a webcomic.
It's on a
It's
webcomic.
on a website.
Sanity Circus, I think, is our next one. Did
If
you
you
guys
log
have,
on to the webcomic,
or did you
can
guys
find
want to talk
this.
more about House of Golden?
Nah, we're done about House
It's
of
so
Golden.
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
never
It's
gonna
so
be done with
goofy.
this.
We'll get you a signed copy, Dave.
I need one. I like it.
I like it. I read that this morning and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like,
I read it on
No, it
I read it
doesn't.
on our vacation, and I was just like, Dave, you gotta talk to me about this because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we had to have like a late night conversation.
Yeah,
about,
like,
did you read House of Golden Bones? It's like, yeah. Did you?
Yeah, we were like, and we were like drinking, and we're like, did you get it? And he's like,
that's the proper way to do that.
yeah, it's like most of these
Yeah.
books I was drinking when I read them, so
Well, that's just because you're an alcoholic.
this, I mean, shh.
Oh, no.
I haven't admitted
This is an
it.
intervention. We're filming it.
Oh,
It's
no.
going on YouTube. Intervention, new season.
So, Insanity
Now we're doing Insanity Circus. All right.
Yeah. .com.
Is that the website, Insanity Circus?
It's something.
Sanity? Is
Oh.
it Sanity or is it Insanity?
It has a website. I don't know.
The Sanity
okay.
Circus.
No, it's actually called The Sanity
The
Circus
Sanity
by
Circus.
Tasha Muckanek. Is that racist if I say it that way?
Just say Tasha. Then you say-
Tasha. She's Russian.
Yeah.
Good. Russian comic.
Yeah.
The
No.
Sanity Circus is a webcomic, and
That's all I gotta say.
boy, is
about
it a webcomic.
Oh my god, is it a webcomic?
It's got the webcomic style. It's got the webcomic plot. It's got the webcomic characters.
It's got the webcomic pacing. It's got the webcomic plot holes. It has the webcomic speeches.
Speeches?
Like,
Were there
they try to
speeches?
do, like, these weird, like, everything's gonna be okay speeches in this book. I gotta find where it's... They try to, like... Everything is very vague. I guess is what I'm trying to say in this book.
Well, yeah, that's what I noticed from because I read most of the book, and then I was like, I get what this is about. And it was like, yeah, it's one of those things where nobody's telling the main character what's going on, and there's not really any reason for that.
There's not.
And those things drive me nuts.
I
at
hate
this
that.
point, where they're like, well, I couldn't tell you because it would break your mind.
The problem is that
and you find out it's like, oh, okay, it was just like some weird shit was
this
going on.
book, I don't even know what it's about until the very, very end of this book. And this book...
It's a pretty thick little...
It is.
It's a thick little book.
It's a thick little book.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it is. Porn. That right now.
Alright, editor,
Thick
please
little
put thick little book porn on the screen. Alright, good.
So this book is about this girl.
Very androgynous main character. Webcomic.
That...
Well, hold on. We should say webcomic for women.
Yeah, sure.
Because webcomics for men are about video games.
I thought this was about people who had very short attention spans
we've
and
been doing
forgot
it wrong.
I'm not a woman. I kind of liked it.
Really?
Well, you're a woman
What
now.
you got?
Yes, I am.
We got news for you.
And actually,
It's
that's
about-
the thing is, I wouldn't say it was even necessarily bad. It's just,
not-
I've kind of seen a lot of it before.
It's not bad. It's just very, very webcomic-y.
It follows a lot of the tropes. I will say, the art's good. Like, once again, it is like the style for, like, not the Cal Art style, because that's for, like, webcomics that are adapted in Netflix
I'm gonna
shows.
try to explain this series.
Oh, he's gonna try and
I'm
say
gonna
that.
try.
Try.
This book is about the main character who
Atlee.
doesn't know magic. What's their name?
Their name is Atlee.
Atlee's
Atlas.
Atlas.
at something. Can't use magic because it's too dangerous, but they don't tell him why he's in danger or why it's dangerous.
I think it's a girl.
I don't. You know what? Okay, they. I'm sorry. I'm using the improper pronoun.
Don't
I
misgender
apologize.
this webcomic.
I'm sorry. But nobody will tell them what
Yeah,
exactly
boys,
is going on, and that is exactly what the book is about. Is that nobody knows what's going on. The
Maybe
main
that's what they're looking
character
for.
is never explained anything, and even when they are, it's incredibly vague. There is a time in this book which drove me up a wall where they said, that bird is probably following us.
I remember that, yeah.
Okay, and then they turned the page, and they just decide to give their entire thing of what they're going to do in front of this bird. And then they get freaked out because the bad guy and that bird knew and was following them. And I'm like, really? Really? You knew this! You pointed it out! You saw this!
They didn't think a bird was spying
Then,
on them.
my
How often
other
do birds
favorite-
spy on you?
But the thing is, they did say they thought the bird was fine.
Yeah, like that was the point, is that they acknowledged it. The fact that they were able to acknowledge this and then they found out that, oh, we were right, put them in no series of thought, because then they do it again at the very end of the book.
But you
young
know
kids.
what? One
They got
They
thing.
do it again!
You know what? One thing this book had that actually made me read through it.
Nothing?
That Umbrella Academy lacked. Was they actually took the time to get me engaged a little bit in the character at the beginning. So
How?
oh, it's called story.
There's no story!
Oh, you just have to read the words.
Yeah, at
But,
the very end, they tell me the story.
No, but at the beginning, they take the time. Atlee's out on the town, and then you get the impression, oh, she's almost never out on the town. The parents yell at her.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
you
was
mean the
Their
vague reason
brother.
why they're not in danger? I won't say that wasn't curious, but at the same time, though, they're like, you're in danger. It's dangerous to go outside. You shouldn't go
I'm
outside.
trying to explain to you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm getting. Yeah, sorry. I'm
Use your
getting,
fucking ears.
Yeah, fine.
Use
Explain to
your
me.
drinking powers.
Mhm.
But yeah, so she at least takes the time to let you potentially care about the character right at the
Right.
beginning, and then they gave a little mystery where it's like, hey, what's going on? We don't know what's going on.
And that's
so
the entire
that,
book.
That dragged me through about all of this, where I was like, okay, what's going on? Okay, what's going on? And just caring about a character a little bit
Goes a
got
long
me
way.
through there, and then finally at the end, I was about ready to just write the whole book off as like, this is just a huge cock tease, it's going nowhere.
Oh.
And then
Oh, I
right
wanted
at
to
the
talk
end,
about
it was
the
like,
end.
oh, it kind of has a little, it has a plot point. There might be some small advancement.
I
So-
guess my problem is
Sanity
that it took it
Circus
so
has
long.
a
I will
plot
not
point.
say.
Yeah.
I will not say that the payoff in there with the main character isn't interesting, because I do like I'll just point at this, and you guys know what I'm talking about. I
Circle.
like the main villains.
Oh, the
I
scarecrow
like the
things.
idea. Yeah, the scarecrows. I like the idea. I like the concept. My problem was is that the entire time, I guess I will agree with you, is that caring about this character probably kept me going. But everything
Didn't do
was
it for
just
me.
It was incredibly vague the entire time.
Dude, it's
like,
Phantom Limb.
Like one of these scenes is where they're at the diner and they're just eating, and she goes, "By the way, the circus that my sister joined, the ringleader was a part of a secret organization that might have to do with your father." And I'm like, that is very, very convenient and really.
That's never happened to you?
No, I mean it has, but I mean,
Okay.
look,
Who
we're talking
hasn't?
about a book. I mean, we're talking.
That's trying to be
We're not
relatable.
talking about real life.
We've all
we're
had
talking
to
about a fantasy
pursue like
world.
weird circus.
My problem is that
remasters.
everything was just set up super convenient for them, like that. I mean, it reads. I guess if I was reading this as a web comic, and this goes towards with the director and I were talking about, is that if
The
I was
director?
reading this as
Oh,
the guy behind the camera.
Oh, okay. I was like the director
Is
of
that
the comic.
if I was reading this as just a webcomic and I read it like a page a week or even like a page every other day, I would probably be more invested into it. But in print format, I don't feel like it holds up to it, if that makes sense.
I feel like if the book was like maybe this long, it could be really good. Like, no, I'm serious. Like,
You
if
think
it kind of cut to the chase, because I
Right.
like the instrument, like the instrument men.
Yeah,
There's
like,
a few cool fantasy things. There's not like
I like the
Yeah.
rhino dude. Like, I thought he was really
I've said this
cool.
about other things. Is it's one of my favorite go-to phrases. If it was half as long, it'd be twice as good.
yeah.
Yeah, like
So it's like there's just too much. There's too
Filler.
much filler.
yeah, like at every single time they're just like, "Are you sure you don't know what's going on?"
That's all the character development and shipping potential happening for the webcomic audience, because that's what they care about is who's gonna kiss.
Right.
Who's gonna kiss who?
Yeah,
Like,
but no one ever kisses.
It's super
Exactly.
webcomic-y.
So then you can write as much fan fiction as you want.
It's not bad.
I know
It's just
this
it's
market.
very webcomic-y and it
I already
doesn't
said
do
that.
very well in
You're
print.
making
I'm
this
just
more
repeating it.
complicated. Very, very simple. Do you like this a whole lot? Do you love it, love it, love it? Yes
Not
or no?
particularly, no.
Is the main character androgynous?
Yes.
You're a bigot.
I'm
None of us knew the gender.
the character. Like the entire time, I was like, okay, you said she, and then maybe you said he at one
And I was
point.
like, wait, is it a she or he? And we're like,
What the fuck are you?
All right, we have established that Chad is a bigot.
Yeah, I'm a bigot.
I'm sorry, Chad.
Hashtag bigot.
Chad bigot.
Chad bigot.
Like it's just not. It just doesn't do very well in print. It was so vague. There was an entire 2 pages of just, "Are you sure you don't know what's going on? Are you sure you know what's going on? Do you know these guys?"
There is a
No,
lot of them not
no,
knowing what's going on and checking
no.
if the other does or does not.
Right. Like it was just I was just like, okay, dude. And then the rhino dude goes, "Yeah, I was a part of that organization, but I can't tell you anything else."
Was he the circus guy?
Yeah, he was the ringleader dude.
Okay.
But granted, I like the guy that turns into a seagull, and,
Yeah,
and this monster's really
Yeah,
cool.
the monster's eyeball thing is cool. Like
The monster eyeball thing is awesome.
the characters are cool. Like everything, I was just like, oh, that's
very,
really cool.
it's very well colored. It's well
Yeah,
drawn. You know,
very well drawn. It's
The backgrounds are so-so. But, you
it's
know.
appealing.
Also,
It's
the
just-
monsters occasionally kill someone or fuck them up really majorly, so it
That's always nice.
it like
Yeah.
teases that like, well, maybe something would happen.
Shit can happen.
Yeah,
thing-
but then it doesn't.
Things can happen. Maybe something will, and you just
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, and this is the first of how many potential volumes?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
great. I would probably end up reading it.
Maybe they can make a Dragon Ball Z abridged version.
That'd be nice.
That'd be awesome. So, it's a webcomic. It's not. If I had to choose between House of Golden Bones, Sanity Circus, I'd probably have to choose House of
We
Golden
would all choose House of Golden Bones.
just
because
about
it's
how
crazy.
silly it is.
Like, actually, my favorite out of all these would be Umbrella.
Umbrella
but
Academy.
That'd be
yeah,
my favorite.
That's
but
mine.
they're
Yeah,
three
so-
very different comics. Sanity Circus. I'm just not the audience for it. So it's fine.
I would be the audience of it if I started it as a webcomic
As
first,
a teenage girl.
because I do read webcomics as well, but not in print form. No,
I have to
can't
clarify
do this.
that I am not a bigot.
You support. Remember, Dave, you did donate to this book.
Yeah, that's how we have
But
to
Dave
you're
has to
like-
release his bias.
Dave
or
has
we
to
have
release
yeah.
this, by the way.
Disclaimer, I bought this book. So
We didn't buy those other books. We stole
But no,
them. So we can be
however, I
honest.
will say though is that congratulations on getting your first volume in print.
Yeah, you drew a fuck
Yeah,
ton of
like,
pages
you
and
did-
it looked great.
Yeah,
so,
like
you know,
everything looks
Jesus.
great in it. The concept is really cool.
I will also say for me, like, the fact that I do care about the character a little bit, and the fact that there is a breadcrumb that had a tiny turn of
Sure.
advancement, I would actually read more because I'm
Alright.
Yeah.
I'd be like, maybe the author will pick up the pacing,
Yeah.
and maybe I could see where this goes.
Think
I
about
do-
this.
so-
If you pick up the pacing, you don't got to draw as many pages.
I guess, and I'll agree with Dave, is that I would be really curious to see how far this book actually goes and how they grow as a writer.
Yeah, so if you do
So,
check it out,
yeah.
be aware that there's some pacing issues. If you get towards the middle, you can skim. You're not really missing
Yeah,
a
you're
lot.
not.
But yeah,
Other than that, though, Umbrella Academy is still probably
Out of these three, yeah,
my
that was one I
favorite.
liked. House of Golden Bones is ambitious, but obviously,
It's-
like, not all there. Like, it's just such a weird book.
It's really strange.
It's hard to follow, I think,
It's-
is the biggest issue.
yeah. But it's
Not
it-
because it's unclear, but just because it goes out of its way to be hard to follow.
so
Yeah.
out of all these 3 books, which do we think should be the top thing that they vote for next
fucking
episode?
Umbrella Academy.
I would say UA, yeah.
yeah.
Dave with the underdog candidate.
Dave. And then our third pick is
Sanity, the Sanity
The
Circus.
Sanity
So,
Circus.
Tasha, if you want to drop a nuclear slam down on us, get your followers to vote that up and make us look like retards.
Yes, please.
No, Gerard Way, you get your followers.
No, Corey Taylor, you get your
The
followers.
Wiggles get in
But
here.
listen, We all know what the real winner's gonna be, guys. Those voters are not dumb. It's gonna be House of Golden Bones.
No, it's gonna be
You're
Umbrella
gonna see a lot of
Academy.
these.
They're gonna
faces
see
on
that,
the
yeah.
internet.
I hope, man, I would love to see
We are gonna
House of Golden Bones reaction tape become a thing.
So guys, those were
Yeah.
our reviews of Umbrella Academy, House of Golden Bones, and the Sanity Circus. We hope you enjoyed the new format. Dave, you do the rest of the closing.
All right, so vote for the correct one, and we will. If you leave some comments, we'll make fun of them next time around. See you next month.
Yeah.